So I think just back to basics, be mindful. If you're not feeling well, stay home, and then ultimately try to get a test in. But that's kind of where we're at now. We've really been super busy, Trish, mainly with the COVID clinics. We have been able to vaccinate, which I think that's where we're geared towards now. Cases are still going to be coming through, but if we can vaccinate as many people as possible, that's kind of our mission. So since November, we've been vaccinating the 5 to 11-year-olds. We did a close to about 800 or so in total, first and second dose. Most will hit their 2-week mark this week, so they'll technically be fully vaccinated. We did hold a booster clinic on Monday the 13th and vaccinated about 270 individuals. So the plan is to kind of keep that going. We might do more smaller scale booster clinics, but just to kind of keep vaccination rates up. Today, Trish held a clinic for booster shots for our school staff, which was great. So we did about 60 or so school staff. So kind of keeping those efforts up, which is a good thing.
Great. And Melissa, going back to the testing, the COVID testing, I just wanted to bring up something that CDC, I think guidelines, like after being exposed, like wouldn't be accurate unless it's 5 days, at least 5 days after exposure. So because people like and get the test done right away, and it's not going to be accurate. It could be either false positive or false negative. So
yeah, that's correct. Technically, they're saying even when you are a close contact, you're not technically eligible to be tested until day 5 or later. So it's a better screenshot of if you're having the virus or not.
Or symptoms.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. First thing on our agenda is approval of minutes. We got a chance to look at the November 16th minutes. I didn't see anything, but I'm open to any edits or comments.
I just had a question under the. I just got my package, but I didn't get the minutes. But I remember I read them online. Okay. So anyway, it's under the housing case, 659 Washington Street, Unit A, under motion. I made the motion, but I don't remember. I said something like the health department will be filing a case against the owner at the Brockton Housing Court. Melissa, do you remember anything?
So we are filing, because the whole thing was, and they were on the phone call, obviously, the whole thing was they were filing separately against the occupants, but in our nature, the violations that needed to be corrected weren't corrected. And it was because they didn't want to do the work because the occupants kept destroying the work being done. So unfortunately, they weren't in compliance with our rules and regulations. So by default, we were taking them to court. Obviously, we understand what the situation is, but for our point of view, they weren't in compliance. So for us taking them to court, they would obviously be going separately to go to court with the occupant, but that would be our next step. So what you said was correct.
Okay, even though they were in the process of doing the
repairs, correct, because they didn't meet the deadline, and also because I think they were reluctant to do some of the repairs because of the cost involved and because of the possibility that the occupants would be destroying it.
Okay, so I mean, can we give them more time, or should we?
No. So we've already filed in court. So I do have a court date on the 10th. I've already spoken with the Fasinellos. They've done a lot of the work. So I'm going to go out and do a reinspection. So the court, it's like a pre-court hearing. So at that time, I'll let them know that all of the items that we need corrected have been corrected. So then it won't go any further.
Great. Yeah, I feel so bad.
No, I understand.
Good. So no other comments. Do I hear a motion for the minutes of November 16th?
Okay, so I'll make a motion in regards to the minutes from the November 16th meeting. The Board of Health approves the minutes as is.
Okay, motion's been made. We're a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further comments or questions? Not, we will vote, and we do have our quorum, which we should have checked at the beginning. I'm glad we do. Mona, the vote?
Aye.
Stefan?
Aye.
Aye also. The approval of the minutes passes 3-0-0. Next on our agenda, 7:35, Red Wing Diner update. And I did
Sure,
see
so we
Mr.
do have
Murphy.
Liam on the call. I figured I'd just kind of do what Rika had done, just a quick recap. So we had Rika conducted a routine inspection the week that she had left, so a little over a week and a half ago. She's definitely noticing improvement on the overall cleanliness of the facility. They're still working on a little bit of exclusion. I know at the last meeting, they had their dishwasher was in disrepair and it was to be removed and replaced, but they were waiting on the company. That has since been replaced with a brand new dish machine. So that's great. Kind of working with Liam still on a 5-year plan. I know he can probably speak about it a bit better, but just kind of removing the wood within the basement area, which we talked about being a damp, moist area. Talking about replacing the walk-in fridge and freezer units. So I think just keeping this momentum up is beneficial. I think he does have a cleaner that's coming in multiple times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, and is just dealing with the cleaning. So it's not a staff member that's worked, a 10-hour shift and then is now tackling, the grunt work of a deep clean. So that's beneficial. I think at this point in time, we'll let Liam speak. I think that they're on the right path. And I think on our end, if the board decides this will be his last meeting to come in front of the board, on the health department side, we would still be vigilant with routine inspections and follow up, because we don't want to lose the momentum, because I think we've come a long way, but I'll definitely let Liam speak at this point.
I think, did we lose Mr. Murphy?
I think we lost him, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. So he told me that he was actually at the live from the restaurant tonight. He was a little short staffed, so he brought himself in. So we can wait a few minutes if you'd like. But I don't know if the board has any questions that I could possibly answer.
No.
No, just very glad to hear that there's progress continually being made, and I would agree that the more we can keep the focus on it. And I know it's his priority, and he's become an expert in the area, whether he wants to or not. But yeah, if he pops back on, maybe we'll talk to him again. But I had nothing specific to ask.
Same here.
Perfect. And then I guess, do you guys feel, and we can discuss when he gets back on, that this would be the last meeting he would appear in front of? Do you want him to continue to do the monthly meetings, or do you want me to have every so often reports to the board on their status? You guys let me know what you prefer.
That's a good idea. Like, I hate to have to bring him back, there's nothing else he can do. You guys can follow it up and just keep us posted. Thank you.
I agree.
Sure.
That sounds
Unless he wants to come back.
It's a public meeting.
We'll leave him on the hook for a while, right? Yeah, if he pops back in, we'll finish him up. But I guess do we have to make a motion? We don't have to make a motion if that's just an update, right?
I think that.
But when he comes, yeah, if he doesn't come in,
So he just messaged me and said that his computer froze.
Okay.
So maybe potentially it might be beneficial to make a motion to state that there's no need for the applicant to come in front of the Board of Health anymore. However, follow-up will be taken care of internally, something like along the lines of that.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
Yeah. So this is, I'll make a motion in regards to the Red Wing Diner update. The Board of Health sees there is no need for the applicant to come back in front of the board to keep us updated. However, an internal follow-up will be done by the Board of Health, and the health director will keep us updated.
If I could add in just that we reserve the right to obviously pull him back in if need be for an update if for some reason the situation changes or some of the reports that we're getting periodically are not kind of up to our expectations.
I agree.
Mhm.
All right, motion has been made. Do we hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any other further comments?
Nope.
We will take a vote. Mona
Aye.
and Stefan.
Aye.
I also, motion's passed 3-0. And if Mr. Murphy pops back on, I want to thank him for all his diligent work and working with us to try to make sure that it's taken care of.
Perfect.
All right. Next, 740, 770 Washington Street, the septic system.
So I don't see Mr. Gomes on the call.
I didn't see on the agenda for the meeting packet. Was this one?
So this is the repeat, this is the septic, non-compliance with the septic system. This dates back originally from October 6, 2020, when they were required to do a Title V. The owner had come in and let him know that he was going to get a Title V done, and never actually did get a Title V done. And we were notified from actually one of the contractors that does Title V's that they were on site and that the system was in failure. However, we never had an actual written document stating this. Obviously him just writing it to us. So the letter was sent by Rika in December of this past year, 2020, giving the owner 9 months to have soil testing done or begin the process of sewer hookup within 18 months in total. And he had not met that requirement. I know he had come back and forth. He did come in front of the board on January 19th to request a additional time, and the board denied that. And then also we had emailed to get follow-up this past June. He had said that, because he only had a couple months left in order to comply with the order. He said that he was working on it and never had. He talks about possible hookup to sewer, but I feel like at this point in time, no action is being taken. And at this point, something needs to be done. So I don't know. Obviously, he's not on the call right now. I think the next step potentially is to take this case to court. Because I think unfortunately him saying that, he's going to upgrade or he's going to hook onto sewer, I think that's just a lot of talk at this point. I think we need some concrete information. And again, this stems back from October 2020. And the deadline was 9/24/21 was the deadline to complete the soil testing or initiate sewer hookup with Whirlpool Engineering. And that was 3 months ago, and it had not been met. So I know the board at the last meeting requested that his presence be at this meeting. So then that way next steps could be determined.
So what was the deadline date again?
So the
Melissa?
deadline, so it was a 2-part. Technically, the second part isn't until May of 2022 because it was 9 months and then 18 months in total. So the first 9 months was the deadline was 9/24/21, and the deadline was to have the soil tested completed for a new septic system upgrade or have the conversation and at least plans be drafted through the engineering department to hook on to town sewer, neither of which were conducted.
Thank you.
There's been no other further communication between him and the Board of Health about this.
So the last communication, Rika had emailed on November 16th, emailed the owner to let him know of the Board of Health meeting because that was when he was supposed to appear on November 16th and had not. And then on November 18th, Rika spoke with the owner and he felt like it was not enough time to upgrade the system, and he's working on and getting an inspection done. He was reminded that a Title V inspector had come out last year and chose not to conduct the Title V because the inspector saw that the system would be in failure and that the owner didn't want to spend money to upgrade the system. So he did ask again if he could get an extension if the house was vacant, and informed the owner to have everything, Rika informed the owner to have everything ready for the Board of Health meeting tonight. And then obviously he would be able to present to the board directly the questions that he had, and he's not present.
And the house currently, so the house is vacant.
That's what he recently said, but that was not our understanding originally, but I don't have a definitive on that. But either way, whether or not the house is vacant, if it's an issue where there's water, surface water, and it's obviously a public health concern at that point.
What would be our next steps? Do we need to,
So the next step, similar to the housing cases, is our department would file in court. It would be like a housing court. And then that way there would be pre-court hearings and we would be able to speak with the court magistrate, explain the situations. Obviously, he would be summoned as well. And then we would go from there and it would kind of be in the court's hand because ultimately he's not really adhering to the timelines put forth by the health department. So I think at this point, it potentially could go a step further.
any other thoughts from anybody in the call?
So that would be the Brockton Housing Court again?
Correct.
Is there, Mr. O'Leary, are you also here for that same topic? He's in the chat. Yes.
So Mr. O'Leary is a neighbor. He's a neighbor.
Oh, okay.
I would, if there's no thoughts, I would have to agree that it's time to move this to the next level and make a motion that the Board of Health is very disappointed that the owner has not responded and appeared to the board as requested, and that we recommend that this escalate to the housing court for our next steps.
Should we specify because he failed to meet the Board of Health requirements by the designated deadline, at least the first part?
Absolutely. Yep, agree. All right, motion been made. Do there a second?
Second.
Any other comments? Edits? Great. Motion made and seconded. We'll take a vote. Mona?
Aye.
Stefan?
Aye.
I also. So 3-0-0. Mr. O'Leary, thank you for being on the call. Right. Mr. Murphy, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know we started talking about the court and going to court. I know you might have thought that was about you. That was not about you.
I was hoping it wasn't about me.
Saw the look on your eye. No. So while you were gone, we just we did put a motion in front of the board and approved it. We want to thank you for your time coming to the meetings. We're not going to ask you to come back more unless, of course, you're
Sure.
interested and you must have a million other things to do. But we did say that obviously we want to continue the progress that's been made. So the Board of Health will obviously stay in contact with you, and if any situation arises or anything we can help you with, I want to make sure that's an avenue for you, and that we have some updates periodically, and that we keep kind of the pressure on for this continued improvement.
Certainly. Understood.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
I'm good. I'm done.
You're done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so fair with me. I really wanted to say that to the board. You guys, I wasn't expecting you to be this fair. You've been so fair with me. I truly, truly appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Have a nice holiday.
Thank you very much. You too. All right. Slightly out of order, but we are now making up some time. How about 7:45? Conservation Commission request for comment regarding the 4 Shoreview Lane.
Sure. So this is just the typical request for determination. So there's no action or comment needed by the Board of Health. It's just they're requesting to determine whether or not there are wetlands in the proximity that they're proposing the project.
Okay. So we don't need to.
Motion.
So you'd still make a motion, but just the board has no concerns at this time.
Want to make a motion, Mona?
Okay, so I'll make a motion in regards to the request for determination for Shoreview Lane. The Board of Health has no concerns at this time.
Great. And I will second. Motion made and seconded. Any other comments? We'll vote. Mona?
Aye.
Stefan?
Aye.
And I also. 3-0-0. Other Conservation Commission request for comment, 5 Birch Street.
So this is for a notice of intent. The project consists of the removal of an existing detached garage and the construction of a new, slightly larger garage with an addition above. The proposed project is located within the 100-foot buffer zone, and the property does have an on-site septic system. So I think the main concerns are, it is new construction within the 100-foot buffer zone. That being said, it is an existing home and they're adding on to it. I still think it doesn't hurt for the board to have their normal stance within the build of a buffer zone. And then the other point would be that it is on-site septic system, and that they are proposing the garage with an addition above the garage. So they just at no point in time can exceed the 3 bedrooms that are the system's designed for without upgrading. And then lastly would be, in proximity to the system, you just want to make sure that it's flagged properly. So then there's no vehicular traffic driving over it.
So we don't know if the addition is gonna be bedrooms or just a living
So
room?
not at this time. It's a little too soon, but we would definitely have sign off in the health department for any building plans going through. So we would definitely make it known, but it's good for the board to also have that they wouldn't be able to exceed the number of bedrooms of 3.
Any comments from anybody else?
Okay. Yeah, no.
They want to make a motion?
I tried, but I can't remember everything that Melissa just said.
I was gonna say, so pretty much the normal stance about building within the buffer zone, so the mosquito mitigation, and then the flagging the system, and then making sure that any additions are not exceeding the number of bedrooms, which is 3, or else it would trigger an upgrade of the system.
What was the second part about the system?
Flagging the system, so
Flagging the
then
system.
that way nothing's driven over.
Okay. So in regards to 5 Birch Street, the board would like to use the standard language that we use for construction within the 100-foot buffer zone, that the system should be flagged, and that that the board is, or the health department is made aware if there's going to be an additional bedroom built on the addition, and if so, the system would need to be upgraded.
Perfect.
Well done.
Should we,
Motion-
does that include the standard guidelines for mosquito control?
Yeah, that was the
That was
first
the
one.
first part, yep.
That's a standard, okay.
All right, motion made. Do we hear a second?
I'll second it.
Perfect. Motion made and seconded. We will vote. Mona,
Aye.
Stefan,
Aye.
and I also. 3-0-0 again. And correspondence, looks like the Lincoln Estates. Looks like there was a nothing we need to act upon, but it looks like is not going through. Looks like there was a bit of a back and forth, and did not come to terms. So it looks like that the motion to propose to continue has been denied, and I think it's been withdrawn, right?
Yes.
All right. Anything else the board needs to look at or discuss?
No, I think that's all for tonight.
Great. Well, if that's all we have, then we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second. We'll vote. Mona,
Aye.
Stefan.
Aye.
I also. So meeting is adjourned.
Okay. And then we'll go back to our normal twice-a-month meetings in January. So we'll meet in another, a week or 2 weeks. It will be the 4th of January.
Great.
Great.
Everybody have an absolutely wonderful holiday and Happy New Year, and we'll catch up then.
We'll see you
Definitely. You as
later.
well.
Happy holidays.
Take care,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye now.
Please,
Thank you.
bye.